Magic in the Morning, Megan Trainor. 8:36, Tuesday. We mentioned Mike Barrett with us from Barrett Insurance Agency. Mike, always on the road, continuing and furthering his education. And you said you're, what, in Williston this morning?
Yeah, so we're in Williston, Vermont. There's a organization over here called the Vermont Insurance Agents Association, and they have a great facility that's got like a classroom atmosphere, and we're over here for some crediting so that we can stay licensed to sell insurance in Vermont, New Hampshire.
All righty. Well, good to have you here.
Yeah.
I know you're busy. We had an interesting chat last week, Mike, about estates and properties and who's on the insurance and so on. And I think you said this morning we kind of want to do a little extension on that.
Yeah, actually kind of a quick hit. And it's a discussion on who can make changes to your insurance policy. What do you think about that?
I think that's a great one. Who can?
All right. So let's say you're selling cars, Jeff, and you have sold me a new car. Can you call my insurance company and have them change vehicles?
If I remember correctly, Mike, we've touched on this very lightly before. I think the answer to that is no, right?
Correct, because they have, and we talked a lot about insurable interest last week, where if somebody has an insurable interest, they should be listed on a policy. Well, now we're talking really about the opposite, where there's really no insurable interest. So it's not something that the car salesperson could do because they don't have any legal connection to your policy. It'd almost be like if they wanted to walk into the bank and grab the money from your savings account or checking account to make the car payment. They're not part of the contract and they're not privy to it. Now, the same could be held true in unfortunate circumstances where maybe a loved one has passed away and now you're going to be the executor of the estate or any number of things that could be happening, and now you're wanting to either A, cancel a policy or have the policy title changed. You're not privy to the contract, so in order to do that, we would need some sort of legal documentation that would give us the ability to start communicating with you and giving you the ability legally to start making changes or cancellations to an existing policy. So there's protocol there. So you can't just call and, you can't be mom and dad saying, hey, I'm calling about my son John's policy. I want to cancel it for him. Well, you can't do that because you're not part of the policy. We can't even tell you the cost of the policy because you're not part of it. So remembering that an insurance policy is a contract between the person who has the insurable interest and the insurance company, and really nobody else, unless it's there legally by contract.
Okay, now is this only with automobile insurance? Because that seems to be one the most consistent reference you're using, or is it on all insurance?
This is on all insurance, homeowners policy. So say mom and dad have passed away, and now you're looking to cancel the home, but that they've long insured because they're selling it or getting rid of it. Well, you have to have a legal ability to sign the paperwork to make that decision to cancel that policy. You can't just arbitrarily do it. There has to be proof of you being able to cancel that policy. So it really does run all lines of business, home, auto, literally anything that's a contract between two parties, this would come into play.
Okay, so very similar then to last week when the kids were on mom and dad's house and such, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So just something to think about because, it's something that we see often where people sometimes become surprised when they're not able to address that type of change or situation in their family's, somebody passing or something changing. Just like throw another example out there. Say a husband and wife are getting a divorce, and now wife calls and says, I want you to remove husband from my policy. Well, we really can't do that because the husband is on the policy. And legally, we as an insurance company and an agency can be exposed by not taking the proper steps and having the proper documentation to remove said husband. So,
all right, well,
it really comes into play of just making sure everyone's properly covered and that there's no gray area or surprises.
Well, that part right there, that example that you used with a husband and wife getting a divorce, I can see where that makes sense because that doesn't always go amicably, right?
No. And the last thing we want is for us to have just said, sure, we'll take husband off at his car, and husband's driving, gets in an accident, and now who's liable?
Right.
So husband wasn't part of the decision making, and he needs to be.
All right.
So.
And so as we always say, it's important to keep that communication line open with your insurance agent, and that way you can keep up on what's right and what's not right.
Right. For a lack of better word, yes. Right.
Pun intended, actually. All right.
Completely.
All right. We know you got to get to class here. Tell everybody how to get in touch with you, Mike.
Sure. So there's only 2 of us out today getting trained in Williston today with our continuing ed. It's in ethics, Jeff, which is going to be quite a challenge for me. But we have a couple of folks at the office. You can give them a call at 748-5224. Visit our website, thebarrettagency.com. Google, Facebook, and YouTube, all Barrett Insurance Agency.
And, of course, here with the Magic Morning Crew on Tuesday mornings.
Absolutely.
All right. Jeff,
Absolutely.
Have a wonderful day. We'll see you in the studio next week, okay?
I'm getting ready for my siesta. I mean class. My class, yeah.
Get out of here, Mike.
All right. See you later.
Have a great day. Good policies on Magic in the Morning, Tuesday mornings with Mike Barrett from Barrett Insurance Agency. Perfect from Ed Sheeran.